Hello, 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 everyone. Let me lift this up a little bit so you all can see me. How is everyone doing? Okay, can you all see me? Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you have any questions, I'm gonna ask you now to please put your questions in the Q&A box. If you're on Instagram and if you are on TikTok, please put your questions into the Q&A box so they won't get lost in the chat because sometimes um, I've had it happen. I can't find a question, or I find the tail end of a question and not the beginning of the question. So if you're watching, you have a question for me, please put it in the Q&A box. It should be down at the bottom. It says it has this little thought bubble with a question mark in it, and it says Q&A. And on Instagram, it's a little thought bubble with a question mark in it. So if you have questions, please do so. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for joining us. Hi, Katie Poppins. How are you? Thanks for joining me. And hello, little angels. Uh, Nanny service. How are you? Thank you, thank you, thank you. So if you have questions, I'm going to get started. I'm trying a new format over here on TikTok. Um, I watch, what is her name? The Mothership on TikTok. And she's teaching me new things and new intricate things about TikTok. So I'm learning as I go along. But I wanted to talk about, while we're waiting on people to come in, I wanted to talk about kids learning um, associative words. I put out a video last week about kids associating the crib, or maybe it was this week, associating the crib with playing instead of associating the crib with sleeping, because I talk about sleep so much. And if you put your child in the crib with toys 5 or 6 times a day, they're going to start to think that this is the place to play. This is not the place to sleep. I like to use the crib for sleeping only. There's an occasion when I might have to, I'm in a hurry, or we just came in, and because the crib is right by the front door, well, I shouldn't say the crib, the baby's room is up front, close to the front door. I may run in there and pop her into the crib and run to the bathroom right quick, because there are times when I tell you, when you gotta go, you gotta go. But I don't put toys in there. And most of the time she gets upset because she thinks it's time for her to go to sleep, because that's where I put her when it's time to go to sleep. So if you don't want your child to associate the crib with playing all the time, you put me in here, where are my toys? It's time to play. If you don't want them to associate that with play, then don't use a dockatot. I'm not dockatot. Sit me up, bumbo chair. Use a bouncy seat. There's exercises. There's a swing. Create a play yard. I've even had a set of twins. Dad rearranged the furniture so that there was this big open space, but they couldn't get out. And there was a stool, the ottoman, that they couldn't climb over for a long time. And we would just, if we needed to get into there where they were, we would slide the ottoman out, walk in, and slide the ottoman back in. So we arranged the furniture. The couch, it was 2 couches and a recliner and their playpen. So if I wasn't going to be in the room with them, I would put them in the playpen so that I can run to the bathroom, because I wanted them in a smaller space and not the bigger space. When I was had them in the bigger space, I was in the room with them. It was also, I could see them across from the kitchen, whatever I was doing, and I could watch them playing as I'm cooking lunch, or as I am. Uh, it was last week. Okay, thank you, Jen. It was last week. Okay, so Oh, you missed my live last week. Okay. Well, welcome to this week, Jen. Um, but if you're putting your, like I said, if you're putting your child in a play space, there are play yards that you can get. Um, if you don't mind it, go to the secondhand store, the consignment shop. They are cheaper, and because your child's not going to need it forever. And when you get done with it, you take it back to the consignment shop and let somebody else buy it and purchase it and keep moving. Because a lot of things that babies need can be recycled. Um, and I tell you that because I had three boys, and they were less than each one of them were less than 2 years apart. So I saved the oldest clothes and shoes and other things that I needed from the oldest one, pass it down to the second one, pass it down to the third one. If it made it to the third one and was still alive, I passed it down to the third one. But some of those things like the play yard or a contain or I like to call them containers, um, a bouncy seat, a exerciser. Uh, so all of those things. Okay. Mia, Maya, I all I see is one part of your question, your statement. It says of the toilet. I don't know what that means. Can you elaborate and explain? Okay. Yes, there's a huge playpen thing on Amazon. It's a lifesaver. Yes. Uh, it is a lifesaver. And yes, I have it in my Amazon store. If you want to shop my Amazon store, um, you can go to amazon.com/shop, uh, ask the nanny. So you can find my Amazon store. At what age should you put a baby in a walker? Um, I really don't like walkers, but if you're going to put them in a walker, make sure that they can sit up. Make sure their feet can actually touch the floor and they're not this much room from their feet to the floor, because right around their thighs where that seat catches them and holds them, it will cut off circulation and you will see little blue toes. That's not a good thing. So make sure, even in the exerciser, in any container you put your, unless it's like the bouncy seat or the sit me up, if it's a container where the child goes in and their feet are supposed to be hitting a surface, make sure that their feet are hitting the surface, because if it's not hitting the surface, if you got your child in there even just 10-15 minutes, it is cutting off the child's circulations right at the thigh. That's a major artery right there between behind the knees and right at the thighs. Also, be careful with your carrier when you have when you're wearing the baby. Make sure that you check the child's feet often and exercise the feet often and move the legs often, because right there, because of the way they're sitting, right there at their thighs, where the bottom, that little tush and their thighs meet, if it's too tight, it will cut off their circulation because they are hanging and their body is heavy, but the feet are lighter than the upper torso. And so if their feet are hanging and dangling, it's cutting off the circulation. Check their feet. You don't want blue feet. I promise you, you do not want blue feet. Okay? Let me see. I have a question over here. Um, But if you're going to put them in the walker, make sure they be able it just depends. Make sure they're able to sit up. Make sure their feet are on the can touch the flat surface of the floor. A lot of parents that I know get like a step stool or a block. There is a table that's made by Skip Hop that has like it has like this little saucer underneath it, which doubles when the child gets over. It's a tabletop, and it allows them to put their feet on there and allows them to push up, because they need to be able to push up to circulate their blood in their legs. So your child may be 6 months when they start sitting up. Your child may not be in 7 to 8 months is when they start sitting up. But whatever age you put them in there, make sure they can sit up so they're not weaving wobbling like this, because it can, whiplash. That whiplash effect, if they bounce forward, their necks are still uh, tender. And sometimes an unexpected flop forward can mess with the child's neck. So make sure they're kind of stable. I shouldn't say kind of. Then make sure they are stable before you put them in the walker, because the walker is going to require them to be moving around and maneuvering, and you want them to be as stable as possible when you put them in there. Okay? How how to transfer from how to transfer how many bottles a day at 1 year old? Okay, so at 1 year old, I would suggest that you talk to your pediatrician, because your pediatrician knows your child's dietary needs. And at 1 year old, most pediatricians like for the baby to be on whole milk and not on formula. If your child is on breast milk, keep breastfeeding your baby. But um, when your child gets to be a year old, talk to your doctor about their nutritional needs. I don't know your baby, so I can only add my opinion. But let me say this again: talk to your pediatrician. I am not a nutritionist, nor am I a pediatrician. But at 1 year old, I give the babies that I take care, the toddlers, they're toddlers by the end, that I take care of, I will give them milk at breakfast. I give them milk at lunch. I give them milk at dinner, and sometimes a snack at snack time. But I also give them water throughout the day, because some babies have a reaction. And when I say a reaction to when they first start on cow's milk, on whole milk, it makes their poop hard, like little pebbles hard. If your child is having uh starting going from massive poops to little pebbles, all this pebbled up, then give them more water in their diet, give them more fiber in their diet, and check with your doctor to make sure that your child is not does not have an allergic reaction or an adverse reaction to the whole milk. Have you ever had to help a choking infant before? Yes, I've had to help a choking infant before. My shows on see you in my show. My show's on see you in an hour if you're still on Nanny. Okay, Jen. Hello, Nanny announcements. Thank you for joining me. Okay, so transferring from formula to whole milk. What I like to do is what my grandmother did. Instead of going cold turkey, I will take 75% formula to 25% uh, whole milk for a week. Then I do 50-50 for a week. Then I do 75% whole milk to 25% um, formula. This is all in the same bottle. Hello, Angela. Thank you for joining me. This is all in the same bottle. And then on that final week, I give them the whole milk. I want them to gradually get used to it and gradually introduce it to their system. If you start small and they have a reaction to it, you catch it instead of giving them a whole bottle of milk, and then your child has a reaction and they got to get all of that stuff out of it. So if you start small, see how they react to it, then increase, and then you're on the whole milk. So that's how I like to do it. Hello, Cecile, Renee, how are you? Hi, hello, Lily in New York, NYC. Okay, so I have another question. What age do you put a baby in the walk? Okay, I answered that question. Any suggestions for toddlers that hit minus 15 months? Um, Unfortunately, hitting is about control. Hitting is something that they may have seen someone else do, and babies hit when they get excited, and it's developmentally appropriate. I hate to be the one to tell you that, but it is. Um, you just have to redirect them, keep telling them this is not, I don't like it when you hit me, it hurts. And it hurts my feelings. So you have to talk to them and keep telling them and keep telling them and keep telling them. You're going to sound like a broken record, but it's generally a phase. Biting is the same thing with biting. Kids bite when they get upset. They bite when they get excited. It's an emotional thing, and not necessarily I'm just hitting you just because I can hit you. Um, but most time when kids that age do it, it's an emotional thing. If you notice when you tell them no, they want to hit or they want to bite because you just made me mad. So I'm gonna retaliate. It's their way of retaliating. But if they're just coming up to you and just look at you in your face and just go, wow, no, that's something else. But most of the time, it's the hitting out of anger, out of excitement. Um, I know the little girl that I work with, she's 15 months old. And when she gets angry, if I tell her no, she tries to bite me. If I'm holding her hand and she wants me to let her go, she'll put my hand to her mouth and she tries to bite. It's a control thing. It's a communication control thing. I don't want you to hold my hand. I don't want you to tell me no. I want you to give me what I want. And if she gets something and she's excited about it, she walks over and she's happy and she'll lean over and she'll hug me and then she'll start biting on my shoulder. But she's laughing at the same time because she's excited. So kids at that age do a lot of things out of emotion and they aren't able to tell you, oh, I'm so happy about this, or I'm angry about this, or let go of my hand. I don't want you to hold me. I want to do it myself. It's a control thing. It's an independent thing and an emotional thing. So keep redirecting, keep saying, when I tell her, I said, biting is not nice. We can high five, we can low five, we can bump elbows, we can touch heads, anything other than it's something that is going to be with gentle touches. That's what I tell her, gentle touches, no biting. And I try to stay from away from the no biting. I explain to her why she shouldn't bite. Biting hurts, and she understands. Ow! When she hurts herself, she goes ow, and I will make a big deal of when she tries to bite me. I go ow. Biting hurts, and she looks at me, and then she'll give me a hug. She has empathy, and she knows how to show it and when to show it. So keep talking to your child and keep letting them know, I don't like this. This is not good. Mm-mm. You don't bite me, without saying, you don't bite me. Give them, model the words that you want them to say. That's what I try to do. Model the words, give them words and vocabulary instead of saying no, 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 no all the time. Because if you're not modeling those words, then they're going to continue to tell you no all the time. Any tips on eczema? Yes. As a matter of fact, uh, my grandsons have eczema. There's a hydrocortisone cream. Before you use any kind of medication and any over-the-counter medicines, check with your doctor. I'm going to say that every time. So if I sound like a broken record, then I'm just going to have to sound like a broken record. But I don't know your child. I'm giving you advice from what has worked for other children I have worked with. I don't know your child, so check with your doctor before you start using the over-the-counter medicines. But um, I like to use the Aveeno oatmeal bath. It has no soaps in it. It's I basically just kind of put it in the water and kind of lay the baby back in the water and just kind of just rub it on their skins, gently rub with my hands and not with an abrasive towel because rubbing makes it on fire. It makes it just flare up and then it gets it on fire and then they get to scratching and itching and all that. I'm just trying to rub it gently. and then rinse them off. And then I apply um, the eczema cream, the Eucerin eczema cream. This is at night when I give them bath. I don't give a bath every night because water will dry them out. I don't give them a bath every night. And I don't, um, but I do lotion them with the eczema cream. There's also, if their skin is on fire, like you went outside and they're in the heat, there's a Aquaphor spray. And when you spray it on it, it comes out cold. So it immediately cools the skin and it moisturizes the skin, and you can gently rub it in. But keeping it moisturized is the biggest thing that you can do for your child, because when it dries out, it becomes crusty and itchy, and it makes them want to scratch, and they will scratch holes in their arms because it itches so much. They will scratch until it starts bleeding because it hurts so much. Also, if you're on Instagram, check out Dr. Tracy. Um, what is Dr. Tracy's last name? She is she's a dermatologist. She works with children. She has written a children's book. Um, I can't remember her name. I know it starts with a B. But she has written a children's book about eczema, and I've had her on my Ask the Nanny show, and she talked about the eczema and how to keep it cool and keep them from scratching. To keep them from scratching, you need to keep it moisturized. And I've also found that um, when my grandson had eczema on his little tush, I put butt paste, the sensitive skin butt paste. I would slather it on him, especially at night. But when I changed his pamper, I would put the butt paste on there, and the butt paste kept it moisturized. And I could tell when I didn't moisturize it because it would come back. It would go away and come back and go away. So I kept plenty of butt paste. It's in a white tube, Boudreaux's butt paste. They have three. They have the maximum strength, the organic, the maximum strength is in the red, the regular, actually, they have four. The maximum strength is in the red, the organic is in the green, the sensitive skin is in the white, and the regular one is in the yellow. So you can buy it by the tub, you can buy it by the tube. They have small tubes, big, they have a variety of sizes. But we use the white one that was for sensitive skin. And since the sensitive skin one worked perfect, and also get your a butt paste, not a butt paste. It's made by Dr. Talbot's. He has uh, it's called a bum brush, but it's like this little spatula. Some of you may know about it. There's a little spatula that you put and you don't get it all over your hands. You put it on the spatula, the butt paste on the spatula, and you just wipe it on the little baby's bum. And if there's any left over, I just wipe it inside the pamper. It's going on them anyway. So I just wipe the excess on the pamper, and then I wipe it off with a wipe. And we're ready to go for the next time. But that spatula has been a lifesaver because I hate getting diaper rash cream up under my fingers and having to wash, because all the time, if you're in a hurry, you can't always be getting up under the nails, and it's sticky and gooey. So when it gets up under your nails, it sticks, and then you have to wash it with soap and brushing. Get the spatula. Get it's called Dr. Talbot's. Um, uh, what is that spatula called? But it's like a bum. It's called a bum, but it's Dr. Talbot's. It's a little spatula for diaper rash medicine, and you just swirl it on there. If you can even use it if you are applying the eczema cream to your child's eczema, you can makes my skin. Nanny Nelson said, "Yes, me too." Makes my skin all white and stuff. Yes. Hi, do we post the questions? You can post a question here. You can post it. I see I have one. There's a question box down below. It's a little thought bubble with a question mark in it. And as a matter of fact, I have one. Let me see. Anything that helps with drool rash for under the chin and on the chest. My baby, my baby I watch is such a bad one. You can actually use the Aquaphor. Aquaphor keeps it moisturized. What I would say is do it from here down, not close to the lips, but right here under the chin and on the chest. It keeps it moisturized. It provides a layer of protection so that the drool, because there's a lot of digestive juices that are going on in the saliva, and those digestive juices get on your baby's skin and it does what it's supposed to do. It has acid in it. It just kind of just creates a rash. Also, your babies, make sure you wipe the neck clean. Speaking of drooling, make sure that you wipe the neck clean, because a lot of drool gets, if your baby has a fat neck and has like 3 rolls on their neck, lift those rolls up, put the baby on the diaper changing table, lift their head up and wipe all of that under there. They will get a yeast infection. And that's not good. That's oh, it's painful to your baby. So make sure you lift that neck up. Okay, so uh she is key. Okay, well, ask your question. She is key. Put your question in there. I mean, go back to the questions over here. Uh, what do you give them at 3 a.m. wake ups? Okay. Okay. Rochelle, let me check down here below and see if you uh created a question down here. Because I don't see what, please explain what you mean. What do you give them at 3 a.m. wake ups? Them as in a toddler, a baby, what age is a child, why they're waking up? Is it a teething problem? What exactly is it that you're asking? Uh, I think I answered that question. What age do you put a baby in a walker? How to take away mucus and stuffed nose, 3-week old. Um, talk to your doctor again. Saline solution helps. Um, the bulb syringe helps. Some people like to use the nose freeder. I don't like using the nose freeder because I've gotten sick twice from using the nose freeder. One of those times I ended up catching the flu from a baby. Nah, I don't use those anymore. But the bulb syringe works. Hello, Fibro Nanny. Hi, great Nanny. Thanks for joining me. But use the bulb syringe. Use the nasal drops. I would usually use the nasal drops first and then use the bulb syringe to pull all of that out of there. Also, if they're congested, sometimes a warm bottle will help to loosen up all these. The warmth of the bottle helps to loosen up all the mucus and all the sinuses. The warmth of it helps to loosen it up, and it'll start drooling out of their nose. And when it starts drooling out of their nose, I just take the bulb syringe and tissue and go to town. They're gonna get mad at you. I'm telling you now, they're gonna get mad at you, and you're gonna hear a lot of screaming and crying, but they'll breathe a whole lot better. Clogged tear ducts in a 3-month old. Clogged tear ducts. I am not a doctor. So I cannot advise you on that. Uh, all I can say is take them to the doctor. If you don't like what the doctor's saying, get a second opinion, get a third opinion. I've had to get several opinions when my child had reflux, and I went to 3 different doctors until I finally found someone who said, yes, he has reflux. Yes, we need to do this. Yes, we need to hospitalize him because he's lost half of his body weight. They wanted to send me home. Oh, just change his milk. We changed milk 7 times. and it didn't work. And my baby started losing weight, and he's only 6 weeks old. So until you get the answers that you want, and because people that, oh, she just going through postpartum depression, that's all she's doing. Nothing wrong with that baby. Use your instincts, take care of your baby, and go. If the first doctor is not talking what you want to hear and not giving you solutions, or his what he's saying is still the same thing. Oh, give it a little bit more time. Oh, give it a little bit more time. Oh, give it a little bit more time. Take your baby into someone else, get a second opinion. Plain and simple, period. Nanny announcement says, yes, we've been using that. So hopefully the next couple of days he gets better, but he's a drool king. He's a drooler. Hello, Dorita. How are you? Thank you for joining me. I think I got everybody. What is the best way to discipline teenagers? Oh, Jesus. Each teenager is different. You have to know your child. And each, uh, I didn't discipline all of my children the same. I have 4 children, and I never disciplined all of them the same, even when they got in trouble for the same thing, because I know the temperament of my child. I knew what made them tick. I was not out to anger them, because sometimes when you anger teenagers, they just keep rebelling. Believe it or not, I was a rebellious teenager. I wasn't outrageous, but I just did little things that I knew was going to push your buttons. I can admit that now that I'm older and I have children of my own that are grown, and I have grandchildren that are almost teenagers. So I can admit that now. But back then, oh, you couldn't tell me nothing. I was, oh, you have to know your children, and you have to know what works with your child. And everything that works with child one is not going to work with child two or three or four. And the way I discipline them is, they like to play those games, the games. That was the worst thing I could take from them. We had extra chores. If they did something they, knew they weren't supposed to do, we had extra chores. So, but I'm old school. So, and I haven't had a teenager in a while. Most of my work has been with babies, but because my children are in their 30s, all three of, well, Samantha is 26, but my boys are all 30 plus and have children of their own. So it's been a minute since I disciplined a teenager. I may not be the best person to ask about that, other than my own children. And that's been a while, like a decade ago. So I may not be the best person to ask about teenagers. Do I have any of my nanny friends on here that work with teenagers that know um, about disciplining teenagers? Uh, Hold on, I'm gonna get you an answer. Just hold on. The infamous MJP. I'll get you an answer. Let's see. My 8-week-old is suddenly confused with day and night. Any tips on how to reverse? Do you have your 8-week-old on a schedule? If you put your 8-week-old on a schedule, um, it will probably help. As a matter of fact, I know it will. A 90-minute up, 90-minute down, because sleep begets sleep. Don't be afraid to wake your child up if they're sleeping. Have a limited amount of time when they're on the schedule. Have a limited amount of time that they are going to do. Um, like 90 minutes, I'm sleeping. From 7:30 to 9, you're sleeping. From 9 to 10:30, they're up doing tummy time, uh, reading books, singing songs, doing whatever you need to do with them to keep them awake for those 90 minutes, and then you put them back down. And it takes practice, consistency, and patience. So once you start, that daytime has a lot to do with the overnight. So if she's sleeping during the day, you need to wake her up. Get a schedule. Contact me. Send me a message in the DM me so we can talk about a schedule for your 8 week old. Okay. Now let me see what else I have. Any tips for 1 year old waking twice at night? Is your 1 year old teething? That's a first question. And what are his daytime hours look like? Are you, is he on a schedule or at least have a routine? And how many ounces, how well does he eat during the day? There's a lot of factors that go into, uh, you can just say, my child is waking up, but there's a lot of factors. Has anything traumatic, has he fallen? Anything traumatic happened to him? And what babies see as traumatic, you may not see as traumatic. They have nightmares about stuff like, the fall. My son fell. He was walking at 7 months. At 9 months, he fell and hit his head. And he had to have those little butterfly stitches on there, right above his eye. He did not walk for 2 to 3 months after that. I think it was about almost a year before he walked again on his own. He would cruise around the furniture, but he would not openly just walk. So that was a traumatic experience for him. So what we see as, oh, there's no big deal. He just failed. Your child may see it differently because they're the one who actually failed. Okay, you're welcome. Wake windows really help. Yes, Fibro Nanny, wake windows really do help. Uh, he has always slept most of the day and no problem sleeping at night. Well, also, she is key. There is a window between 6 to 8 weeks where your child starts sleeping longer periods of time. It's like the light bulb goes on and it happens. I wait and I jump on that window because something happens between that 6 and 8 week window, and they are just like, okay, I just decided I'm going to sleep tonight, and they start sleeping 6 to 8 hours at a time. Your child should be able to sleep at least 1 hour times the number of weeks they are, up until 12 weeks. So by the time they really don't capture that until like 6 to 8 weeks, because that's when uh, most babies stop cluster feeding around 4 to 5 weeks. So by week 6 to 8, it's like, okay, I don't need that much. I had all I need during the day. I can sleep longer at night. So there's a window, and you're about to miss it. If he's 8 weeks old, there's a window. We need to catch that window so that your baby can go back from day to night. And you say he usually slept most of the day. Your baby's growing and your baby's needs are changing. So you need to change with the baby's needs. Okay? I know it was nice having them sleep all day long. You get stuff done. Yeah, reality finna set in now, and the baby is needs are changing, so you need to change the baby's schedule in order to get them to have to sleep uh the way you want them to sleep, or try to help them sleep the way you want them to sleep. Oh, you never break his sleep and nurse on demand. Oh girl, I wish I'd known you sooner. You got to break the baby's sleep, because the sleep is um I know old people tell you, don't wake that baby. Don't wake that baby. That baby's sleeping. When you have a schedule, wake that baby on that schedule. Any other time, no, don't wake that baby. And if the baby wakes up early, don't run and get him. Oh, the baby's awake. Let me go get him. No, let them stay in the crib. Let them get used to uh, being in the crib. If they're not crying and they're just laying there, let them play. That's extra time that you get to go use the bathroom, uh, get some laundry, throw it in the washer right quick, finish cooking. If the baby's not supposed to get up till 1:30 and the baby gets up at 1:15, you got 15 minutes. You're going to sit right there in that crib and you're going to enjoy yourself. You're going to learn how to talk to yourself, entertain yourself. That's independent play. That is being independent and knowing that I'm going to be here and mom's going to come and get me when it's time to get up. And if you start getting them up early, they'll start waking up early to get up early. Let them know you're going to stay in until 1:30. This is the schedule. And I promise you, on the other side of that, when your baby is able to, in the middle of the night, they wake up, they don't have to cry. Come get me. I know you hear me. I know you're on the other side of the door. Come get me. They're screaming bloody murder. Whereas you let them start at nap time and they're self-soothing and they're playing and doing their own thing. They're they having a woosah moment. They will eventually go put themselves back to sleep. You don't have to go in there. You don't have to disrupt your rest or whatever you're doing because you have taught your baby to stay in the crib and enjoy being in this crib because it is nap time. When nap time is over, go get them, play, do whatever you need to do until the next time, nap time or bedtime. So do yourself a favor and, you know, do that. Yes, that is exactly what happened. He turned 8 weeks today. Okay, well, we're gonna get you on the schedule today. We're gonna get you a schedule. Uh yes, let's stay to quiet time. Yes, quiet time. Now you tell me yes, the elders in my family say don't wake him. I will stunt his growth. I'm sorry. I have a grandmother who used to tell me that. Don't wake that baby. I learned better. And my baby slept better when I had them on the schedule and I woke them up because they sleep all day. What you gonna do at night? Okay, ain't got nothing to do tonight. I guess I'll stay up and keep you up. What you gonna do? Thank you. My baby just woke up. Okay. Oh yeah, Angela, preach. Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What's a good time newborns should go to bed? Um, I try between 7, about 9 o'clock. I don't. I try not to get them past 9, between 9 and 9:30, 10 at the most. Okay, NJ87, please send me a DM. Let me finish answering some questions over here. I did the eczema. Suggestions for a good sleep schedule for a 6 week old. Okay, right at 6 weeks old is when your baby stops cluster feeding. And let me see. Hey, it's me, Kelsey. Okay, right at 6 weeks, your baby stops cluster feeding, and it's time for a 90-minute up, 90-minute down schedule. Uh, DM me so we can talk about the schedule. If you're still here, hey, it's me, Kelsey. Any suggestion on toddler? Okay, I got that one. Or tips for 4 months old starting to eat. Okay, so I'm not going to give you the spiel about feeding your baby too early because that's your child. I don't usually start feeding babies until 6 months old. So at 4 months old, I would say if you're going to feed them, avoid rice cereal. Uh, rice is sprayed with pesticides, and right now your child's tummy is still developing, and your child's tummy needs time to be able to handle. Now, I know a lot of people eat rice. I eat rice myself, but my digestive system is used to having different foods in there and not having that pesticide treated rice in there. Well, my digestive system, your baby's digestive system is not used to having those treated rice in there. But I would definitely try some, well, excuse me, um, avocados, Start with some avocados and then maybe sweet potatoes and butternut squash. Do not give them all at the same time. Give them one food at a time for at least 4 to 5 days to make sure that they're not going to have an allergic reaction. I would start out only feeding your baby once a week, once a day, so that you can, because they still need the vitamins of their milk. Or if you're breastfeeding, they still need the vitamins from the milk that you're providing for them because they're not eating enough foods to get all the nutrients that they need. So start out once per day and then work your way up to more times a day. But yeah, those are some of the foods that I would start. What is the proper way to make infant formula? Oh, I have plenty of videos on that. Uh, what is it, Bree Money? Um, Look on my page. There's plenty of videos on there. But the main thing is read the instructions on your can of milk. The formula. If you're using powder formula, if you're using ready-made formula, uh, but you're asking the proper way to make it. So apparently you're using the powder formula. Some formulas, especially the specialty formulas, have special instructions. The general formulas, the Infamil, all those that are just general formula with iron, they have so many now. Read the instructions because some say water up to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Some say mixed with cold water. Some say room temperature water. Some say you can't reheat the bottle. So read the instructions, but whatever you do, don't shake that bottle. When you shake that bottle, it creates air bubbles. Air bubbles get on your baby's tummy. They build up and give the baby gas. In the middle of the night, they'll be suffering with gas on their tummy and screaming. All of a sudden, you hear, "Ah!" That's a gas bubble moving. And you know how I know? Because I've taken care of so many babies that I know that scream. And the first thing I do is take them out of the crib and I start patting them on their back. And they start going like this, and you could tell when they start scrunching and going like this, that's a gas bubble moving. Keep patting. And they probably scream a couple more times while you're patting, but let them scream because it's getting that gas out. And don't stop until you get a burp or a toot. So, um, mixing that formula, use a wire whisk to stir it. Or they have little tiny wire whisks. They even have, the blender bottles. They have little tiny blender balls for the baby bottle. Swirl. If you're going to use the blender bottle, swirl. And another thing to do before you uh, do the scoops, and just scoop it into the water. Add the water first to the bottle. You don't want to add the formula and then add the water. You add the water. So if you're making a 4-ounce bottle, put 4 ounces of water in there and then add the formula to it. When you add the formula to it, it's going to be more than uh, the 4 ounces because of the volume of the formula added to the water. But it's still a 4-ounce bottle. So don't mistake that's 4.5 ounces. The only way that's a 4.5 ounces is if you get the ready made and you pour 4.5 ounces. That 4 ounces of water equivalent in the formula that you pour in there, the powder formula, is equivalent to the same 4-ounce bottle. Okay? And when you feed your baby that bottle, make sure you stop every ounce or so, depending on how young your baby is. Make sure you stop every ounce or so and burp your baby so the gas won't build up. Okay? But let me stir, don't shake. And before you scoop it out of there, use the little stir that you did. If you're using a wire whisk, stir the formula up so to break all the clumps up out of it, and it makes it easier to make that bottle. I like to, because sometimes some of the formulas have are just made different and they're clumpy. So I like to stir it up, the formula, the dry formula inside the can, and then I scoop it and put it in there because it loosens it up. And when I pour it into the water, it kind of disperses instead of the big clump sitting on top and it's just going around in a circle and just floating up there. And then eventually it falls. And when you're shaking that bottle up, you're gonna have to continuously shake, 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 or stir, stir, stir to get that big clump out of there. So it makes it easier when you stir before then. How can I get my baby to sleep in their crib? Start with nap time. And it's going to take those three words, uh, patience, consistency, and practice. Start with nap time and put them down in the crib at nap time. And even if they only stay 10 minutes, that's a success. All small success is still a success. So pat yourself on the back, pat baby on the back, did a great job. And you continue to lengthen that time in the crib, and then you do the overnight. It's easier to train them to sleep during the day in short periods of time than to expect them to sleep in there overnight. So start small because they're small. They're small, but mighty and smart. But start small. Nobody likes cold turkey. I don't like doing anything cold turkey ever. Change is hard. And I'm like, no, no, no. Y'all give me a little bit at a time. Feed me just a little bit at a time until I can, get to the meat of the matter. Okay, my baby turns 8 weeks tomorrow. Can you give an example of a schedule? Okay, I answered that question. Thank you very much for dropping these jewels. You're welcome. She is key. If you appreciate what I'm doing, go to my link tree, the link in my bio, and click it on. There's a spot up at the top where you can leave a tip. If you'd like to leave a tip, please do so. If you found the information that I am providing for you useful, please leave a tip. Same for anyone else uh, on TikTok. You can go to my profile, click on the tips, and leave a tip, or you can present a gift here. Either way. So, Sincerely Dion, at what age do you stop burping a baby? I usually stop burping the babies around when they start eating food, around 6 to 8 months, because they are they can pretty much burp themselves because they're crawling around and moving around. But there are some difficult babies that might have a medical condition. And if I know this child is difficult to burp, gas is still bothering them, I will take the time and just kind of burp them myself. But usually around 6 months, I stop burping babies when they start eating because they're able to sit up and crunch and get all that, when they're moving around, they're able to get all that gas out of their tummies on their own. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the hearts. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Melanie, uh, the Nanny Confident, thank you for joining me. Baby led weaning. Okay. Fibro Nanny. I know you said something about baby led weaning, but I'm trying to find out what you said before then. 6 months. Oh, agree. Employee calories to oatmeal with plain flat oats instead of with peanut butter at 6 months. Oh, yeah. Empty calories rice cereal. Yep. Empty calories. Changes the volume, but still the same. Yes. Yep. Been there. Fibro Nanny, I think we live the same life. Okay, thanks. Good to know. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, how can I get my baby to sleep? Do you have constipation tips? Yes, 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 yes. Um, if your baby is constipated, bicycle, tummy time. Um, I like to bend them forward and back. If they're sitting on my lap, I like to lean them back and bend them forward, all the way forward, because it's working the core muscles. And when you work those core muscles, it helps to move the bowels. The bicycling of the legs helps. Um, What else do I do? I put them on their tummies on a yoga ball. If you have a yoga ball, I put them on their tummies on yoga ball and I lean them forward. So they have to clench those stomach muscles and I lean them back. And so they have to it's all about clenching those stomach muscles and making those the bowels the core makes the intestine makes the bowels move on through. So yeah, all of that. Let me see what I missed over here. Thank you. I didn't know about her exerciser. You're welcome. You're welcome. How many balls a day? Okay. All right. Love your hair is twisted. Thank you, Jeanette. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. How to take away mucus and stuff nose. Okay. It's only took one day and she was fine sometimes too. When do you stop taking 2 naps a day? I have an 11-month-old who thinks she doesn't need 2 naps. Well, each baby is different, but if your baby refuses to take that one nap, or their first nap is an hour and a half long, they only take 15 minutes of nap for like several days in a row, and you're like, baby, you need to sleep. But that last nap, they just want to sleep forever. Yeah, it's probably time to change. But babies are different. I usually, uh, it's around 15 months when they switch from 2 naps to one. But like I said, all babies are different because my current baby was 11 months old. She decided she wanted to go pee pee on the potty, and we've been in potty training ever since. So, and she will poop and pee on the potty. And now she's starting to tell us pee pee. And she'll look down at her pamper and go pee pee. So we've been in potty training for like 4 months. And so each baby is different. And their way of communicating to you is when they start doing things differently. We noticed that when we took her pamper off, as soon as we took her pamper off, she would give us this little sinister smile and just pee and just shoot everywhere. I'm like, she did it for 3 days in a row. I'm like, if you can control your people, we take it out every time you give us this smile, like, okay, you mustering up some and you gonna pee on us, then you have enough control to go to the potty. I told her mama, I said, put her on the potty. My mom put her on the potty. She said, you're not gonna believe this. She just went to potty. I said, what? I was kind of sort of joking, but kind of sort of serious at the same time to see what she would do. And we haven't looked back since. We've been going to the potty. Now she's still in Pampers because she's only 15 months old now. And even though she knows what to do when she gets there, she still wets throughout the day. She doesn't know every time I go pee, I need to go on the potty. All she knows is when you take me in here and give me the opportunity to potty, then most of the time I will potty. There's sometimes when she doesn't want to potty. I don't make her because I don't want to make it a forced, uh, you need to sit down and potty. No, I don't want that. I want being potty trained to be a pleasant experience for her so that she won't have any, I won't say regrets, she won't regress. That's the word I'm looking for. So when your child is showing you, I don't need another nap, mama, I need one nap, try it and see, if she's staying up, if she staying up till 11 o'clock during the day, 11:30, feed her lunch at 11:30 and put her down by 12, let her sleep till 3. Then get her up, and then I don't know what her bedtime is. Get her up, you know. I would say if she's going to have one nap, have 5 hours on each side. Have 4 to 5 hours on each side. Hello, Kareem. How are you? Uh, yeah, it's morning where you are. I'm listening for a future baby. I want to be ahead. Thanks for these gems. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for joining me. Uh, I got toddler terrible of pooping, and he was the worst poop schedule. Oh wow. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, I'm not even gonna mess up your name. Wiggle their legs. Make your arms like a toilet. Avocado. Yes. Wiggle their legs. Tummy time. Yes. Hold on. Let me see if you said something else before that. Okay. Tummy time. So yes, tummy time works for a lot of things. Gas, it works out gas out of the baby's tummy. It helps the baby with fine and gross motor skills. It also helps the baby with constipation. If your child's constipated and you're trying to get them their bowels to move, do plenty of tummy time. Okay. How to take away mucus? Okay, 3 week old. Love your twisted hair. How many ounces should a 3 week old be having? Okay, so how many ounces should a 3 week old be having? That question is baby to baby to baby. My oldest son, at 2 days old, was drinking 4 ounces every 2 hours, was not spitting up. But of course, he was born at 8 pounds and 10 ounces, which is like a lot of people's 2 to 3 week old. Um, but my second son was only drinking like at 3 weeks old, he was drinking maybe 3 ounces every 3 hours. Maybe. And I say maybe. Then my youngest son, at about 3 weeks old, he was drinking about 2 to 3 ounces. So it just depends on your baby. Your baby will let you know when they need more. If you feed them that 2 ounces and they're like, and they get mad because you take the ball out and it's all done, or you burp them and then you get ready to put them down and they're like, I'm not done eating. Give them some more. Try an ounce, half an ounce more. I increase it by half an ounce, just especially with breast milk, because breast milk is liquid gold and you don't want to waste that. I would increase it by an ounce, a half an ounce, and if they want more, then give them more. But a 3 week old normally anywhere from a couple of ounces to I would say a couple of ounces, 2.5 ounces at the most, normally. But again, every baby is different. So you have to go by what your baby is telling you and what your baby's needs are. And if you are breastfeeding, you don't know exactly how much, unless you're pumping and give it to them, you don't know exactly how much they're taking in. So, uh, and some moms don't want to pump. So just feed, especially at 3 weeks old, they're still cluster feeding. So they may not eat the same amount every time they eat. So you have to take that into account too. Cluster feeding ends right around typically between 5 to 6 weeks. And that window of sleep comes in and you're like, I gotta jump on it. But your baby at 3 weeks old will eat until they're full, until they've had enough. Best way to work with difficult parents. You should have been in our conflict resolution class last night, our negotiation class. The best way, oh, bonus mom. Okay, so have the hard conversations. First of all, you all are going to have to come to a compromise, and you're going to have to collaborate with each other. And when I say compromise, somebody going to lose, somebody going to win. But keep the child in mind when the child's best interest in mind when you're talking to the parent. And if you are a nanny working with a difficult parent and they are disrespecting you, when I say compromise, I mean compromise on what you're doing for the child. I do not mean compromise your integrity. I do not mean compromise uh, your ethics. And I do not mean compromise as in they start devaluing you and disrespecting you. If that happens, it's time to go. Period. Y'all hear me well. If you got to go to work, if you hate going to work because the parents that you're working with are always controlling and always belittling you and they don't respect you as a person, you are there as the nanny to help and to help raise, and you all work together as a team to help raise those children. If you get to the point where she's disrespecting you, or you're disrespecting them, then it's time for you all to part ways, because the kids are going to start seeing the animosity between the two of you. And once they see the animosity between the two of you, oh, it's going to be unpopular. The kids will start disrespecting you. I had a home daycare and I had to put a little child out because mom would be on the phone at home talking about me to her friends and talking about what I need to do and what I don't need to do. And the child will come to my home daycare and he would start talking. My mama said, my mama said, my mama said, my mama said. And I was like, oh, really? And I don't have to listen to you. I was like, oop, because it only takes one person in a home daycare for all the rest of them to revolt and say, oh, well, if he don't listen to you, I don't have to listen to you either. No, I'm not going to have a room full of 3 and 4 year olds, a house full of 3 and 4 year olds that disrespected me and won't do what I asked them to do, because I need them to hear me clearly, understand my words, to follow directions. Because when we go out in public, I don't need to say, well, I can't take you out in public because you won't listen to me. Because if I take you out in public and we're at a park that doesn't necessarily have a fenced in area, and you start running towards the street and I tell you to stop and you look at me like I don't have to listen to you and you keep running for the street, that's a dangerous situation for me. And I refuse to put myself in that situation um, because of that child. So I had a talk with mom. Well, you do be doing this and you do be doing that. I said, who told you this? Well, my child said, I said, and your 4 year old takes things out of context. And I know this because of the way he told me you was talking about me. Oh, he got it right. I said, oh, okay. Then we need to part ways, because if he's going to disrespect me because you're disrespecting me, he's following your lead, not mine. He's your child, not mine. And if he's going to disrespect me in front of all the rest of the kids and start the leader of the pack, that's not going to happen in here. We are all going to cooperate. We are all going to work together, and we are all going to have a great time at the home daycare. And because you are disrespecting me and because your child refuses to listen to me, then I'm going to have to give you your 2 week notice. Oh, well, you don't have to worry about me. I won't be back. Okay. A week later, can we come back? Nope. 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 I don't, uh, that's not the way that I operate. I don't want animosity and I don't want negativity in my space, especially if it's in my home daycare. If I'm in somebody else's home working with them and their children and they keep disrespecting me and keep telling me, talking down to me like I don't know what I'm doing, why did you hire me if you don't trust me? Why did you hire me if what I'm doing is not according to what you plan? So we sit down and I sit down and I have a talk with them and we come up with a plan. But if you're going to continue to disrespect me and continue to undermine me and continue to, I can't work like this. I cannot work in a stress situation because I don't want my stress to overflow to the kids. I have enough frustrations when the kids get upset trying to figure out, okay, I need to calm them down. But to work with a parent who's going to continue to be difficult and continue to disrespect me and undermine me when the kids are concerned, no, that's not me. I refuse to do that. That is stressful. That leads to high blood pressure. It leads to panic attacks, anxiety. Those are things that you don't need in your life. Children have enough to put on you other than without the parents adding to that. Now, I'm not saying that you're not going to have some, you know, sometimes you get mad because they did something and you wanted to do something else. And uh, those are occasions. But I'm talking about consistently doing these things. And if they're consistently doing these things and you have a talk and it's not working, then it's time for you to go. Uh, the baby chemist said, I can't, I just can't work in confusion, period. Either the parents will back me up or I just simply cannot. Uh, yes, burnout, stress. Thank you, Fibro Nanny. Yes, burnout. It will burn you out and it'll make you weary of the next family that you go to work with. Work with. I don't say work for, work with. So, okay, somehow I moved my picture. All right, there we go. I think I tapped the screen one time too many. I can book a consultation. Yes, ma'am, you can. Send me a DM and we'll set it up. Miss Margarita, you can set up a consultation with me. Any one of you can set up a one-on-one consultation with me. Um, you can go to my website at atnanny.com and there's a form to fill out. You can go to contact me or you can send me a DM here and we can and I can contact you and we can set up an appointment to have a one-on-one consultation. That's right. Work with, not for. That you got it. Fibro Nanny, work with, not for. Uh, Nanny for 2 year old, bad habit of biting. Any tips? Uh, yes. Keep talking to your 2 year old. As I just mentioned this before about someone hitting, a baby hitting. Keep talking to your 2 year old because when they get 2 years old, it's about control. Um, they know that it's going to hurt you, and that's their way of retaliating. At 15 months old, it's a total different mindset than it is at 2 years old because at 2 years old, they kind of know right from wrong. I'm not going to say they're going to do the right thing all the time, but they kind of know right from wrong. So, um, redirection, keep telling them biting hurts. Make a big deal out of it. If they bite, oh, that hurts. Oh my gosh, that hurt. Make a big deal out of it. And because if you just like, oh well, he's just biting, then he's gonna keep on biting. Let him know that he's what he's doing. Give him words. Thank you for following me, sincerely, Dion. Um, give him words that he can understand. Biting hurts. When you bite me, that hurts me. Remember when you fell down and you scraped your knee? You remember how that hurt? Yes. Well, when you bite me, it hurts the same. And talk to mom and dad about it. I'm sure that you all need to all be on the same page about the biting. It can't be just you of it can't be just you talking to him and mom and dad not doing anything. Because if mom and dad aren't doing anything and you're just talking to him, he'll continue to do it. I don't have to listen to her. Mom and dad let me do it. They're smart enough to know that. And they will pit you against one another. I promise you. I've had them done. Hello, British Nanny and Oz. Hello, Club de Nannies. Hello, Exo Cassandra. I'm there now. I got a bite or two. Nanny Toddler and Nanny Share. Ooh, y'all got some biters. I have a biter too, but she's only 15 months old, and I know why she does that, and that's why I'm taking the time now. So by the time she is 2 years old, we won't have that biting issue. I'm nipping it in the bud. Mom and dad own it too. We have had the discussions. Anything happens new with that child, any new personality traits that coming out in her, we have a discussion about it. We talk about, well, we noticed this last night. What do you think about this? They ask me their opinion. They ask me for my opinion, and they give me their opinion. So we can all sit down and discuss it and say, okay, this is the plan. This is what we're going to do. I love parents who work with me and we are on the same page. And even if we disagree, the parents have the final say so to say, okay, well, we want to handle it this way. Okay, well, then we'll handle it that way. It may not be the way that I would have handled it, but we handle it that way. If it doesn't work, they always come back. There have been a number of times. Oh my gosh, mosquito. Okay, I can't see you. Okay, got it. Sorry, I'm allergic to mosquitoes. He was flying in front of me. But if it doesn't work, they will come back and say, "Okay, that's not working. What was it you were suggesting we do?" And now that they see that, some of the suggestions that I work, okay, they come to me first. Okay, what do you suggest we do about this? We have a solution, but we want to know yours first. So it's a building of trust. They are first time parents and they want to know. I want to empower them to take care of it and try it their way and not second guess themselves. But I also want to give them suggestions. If that doesn't work, then try this. So I want to give them suggestions of things to try so that if it doesn't work, they don't feel like a failure. They have something else to uh, to fall back on. Mom avoiding it. I called multiple meetings on this, still not working. Wow. Um, have you tried emailing her? I mean, you called a meeting, get something in writing so that you can prove that I tried to call your meeting. I tried to do this. I tried to do that. This is my last resort. I'm emailing you. Please let me know when you get this email. Or if you email them and they didn't say anything about it, tell them, I left you an email last night. Did you happen to read it? Document it. I made plenty of paper trails in my life. Paper trails count. I asked you on this day. I asked you on that day. I asked you on this day. I asked you on that day. I tried on this day. I tried on that day. So when you get ready to go and they're like, why are you leaving us? Let's see. Let me pull out the laundry list. And you have all this documentation of what you tried, what you did, what happened, the results, and don't take your feelings out of it. When you do an observation or when you're doing making a paper trail, take your feeling. I think she did this. Mom did. Just put down what you see and what happened, not what you think you see, or because you already have an attitude towards mama, you make up some conjured stuff that go with along with what you see. Write down what you see. Write down what actually happened. And that way it will be accurate and not an opinionated observance. I've done so many observations on children, and you have to take your feelings out of it. Well, I think she's trying to do that. Well, I think she's trying to do that. Oh no, she's trying to do. Write down what you see because it could create a pattern. When I have a child that I think something is wrong, I write down what I see. So when we go to the doctor's office, I can say on this day they did this, on this day they did this, on this day I observed this, on this day I observed that, and I say exactly if the child said something, I write down exactly what they said. If the child did something, I write down exactly what I saw in the sequence that I saw it, and not, well, they were trying to do this. I think they were trying to do this. No, that's not going to help your doctor. Facts. Write the facts. Yes, Fibro Nanny. It's no assuming notes. I like, yes, no assuming. It's hard to do that. It's hard to leave your feelings out of it. But when you leave your feelings out of it and you state the facts, you get a more accurate results, or the doctor is able, or whoever is able to hone in and say, yes, This is what happened. And the mom said, well, I didn't know that day. I just thought you were just playing. I didn't realize this is what you did. This is what you said. Period. I just thought. Now mom may think and do whatever, but you have accurate observations. My baby ate 4 ounces once. He was 4 weeks. He was a chunky baby. Yeah, my oldest one was a chunky baby too. He was 26 pounds at 6 months. He was chunky. But in his defense, he didn't gain any more weight. He just went straight up until he was 2 years old. So he didn't gain any more weight. Let me see, what time is it? Okay. I have about 10 more minutes and then I got to go get ready for tomorrow because I do have to go to work. Uh, Thank you for answering my question. You're welcome. You're welcome. Let me make sure I got everybody. Okay, I have a question in the question box. Let me see. Okay. Fibro Nanny, or British Nanny in Oz, do you have any tips on disciplining a teenager? It's been years, decades since I've disciplined a teenager, and I work with 0 to 3 mostly. So discipline a teenager, and my children are grown. My grandchildren are almost teenagers now. So, um, do you have any thoughts on discipline teenagers that I can help this parent with? What are tips before we're starting to eat? How can I get my baby to sleep in their crib? Okay, so I've answered all the questions that are in the question box. And hold on, I have two more. I'm the queen of theatrics. Lexi. Thank you for answering my question. Any tips on improving appetite? 14 months. If they're 14 months old, how much milk are you feeding them? Are they filling up on milk instead of uh, food? Also, at 14 months, um, try to let them help you occasionally in making something. I started around 9 months and we make bread, we make a lot of stuff, uh, because kids are tend to eat what they make. Try some smoothies. A lot of hidden stuff goes in a smoothie. I promise you that. Um, Also, if you if you give them a lot of milk, cut back on the milk because at 14 months old, they are supposed to eat more than they're drinking. It's the opposite of when they were first born. They were drinking a lot, drinking and drinking and drinking, and now they're eating. But now they're eating more than they should be drinking. So you might want to cut back on the milk. I would say I give like a little 4 ounce cup of milk for breakfast, 4 ounce a cup of milk for uh, for lunch, and 4 ounce cup milk for. She has about, let's see, I would say about 16 to 20 ounces of milk. Whereas when she was still in formula, she was having more around 30 some odd ounces. So we kind of cut our ounces in half. She was around 32 or 33 ounces of formula. The doctor said, okay, she needs to eat more. Okay, so we cut back on the milk. We start gradually cut back on the milk, and she started eating more. This morning, she had a huge breakfast. She ate an egg and some sausage and some pears and strawberries, and she had a muffin, a little mini muffin, which is a lot for her because usually she just eat a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of that, and she's done. And at 14 months old, you need to be feeding them 5 times a day: breakfast, morning snack, lunch, afternoon snack, and dinner. That will improve their appetite too. Um, and sometimes it's about the foods that you're feeding them. try cooking them in a different way. Try a different recipe or a different flavor. Zucchini is you can cook it so many different ways. Um, but maybe when you're feeding them, I wanted steak today, and you gave me chicken. Well, chicken is all right, but my mom said steak, and I got my mindset on steak, and you give me this chicken. No, I don't know. I ain't in the mood for chicken, so I pass. So it could be the way that you're cooking it. Try cooking it in a casserole. Try cooking it um, in spaghetti. I use zucchini in my spaghetti sauce. So it just depends on how you're cooking it. And a lot of kids, they like flavors. If you're still giving them those bland purees, a lot of kids like flavors. So give them some flavors. Devices work even better as a collateral if they are on the spectrum. Hold on, I missed something. Toddler boys, sausage, egg bites, water, raw peppers today. 2 boys, 2 years. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so um, as who asked the one about discipline of teenagers? Okay, so I have some solutions. Fibro Nanny says turn off their internet, take their phone and laptop. Devices work even better as collateral if they are on this if they're on the spectrum. Okay, I'm not sure what you mean by that, British Nanny Nas. Um, Maybe I'm just not thinking. Hello, Mimi. How are you? Thanks for joining me. Okay, so also there is a cookbook. Um, the big book, the big organic cookbook, toddler cookbook. It's on Amazon. It's in my Amazon shop. Look it up. You can shop my shop on Amazon. Look up Ask the Nanny. It's on my baby list. There's several things on my baby list, but the book, the big organic, is it the big book of organic foods or the big? Oh, I can't think of it. Um, but it's a cookbook, and I've given it away as a gift before um, here on TikTok. Teenager was on the spectrum. No, she wanted discipline. She wanted ways to discipline a teenager. No, the America Tester Baby Toddler Cookbook. Okay, so Fibro Nanny says try the America Tester Baby Toddler Cookbook. The name of mine, I want to say, is it's the the big organic cookbook. I can't remember the name. See, if I wasn't trying to think of it, I could think of it. But it's shoot. I will have it for you all next week. I promise. Any tips on increasing them? Okay. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I have about 1 minute. I'm going to finish reading up these. Yes, I would take away advice. I took away games, PlayStations, and all that. I said that too. Uh, British Nanny and Oz. I said that. Okay. Uh, Lucas Rain. You can also just give her what you eat. This is true. I was just about to suggest adding spices. Yes. And you can add herbs like basil, oregano, uh, um, what else? I know my little girl likes the sage sausage, the sage chicken sausage. It's a special sausage that mom and dad buys, but she is in love with it and won't eat any other sausage. So yeah, that sausage works. Um, you can also give her what you eat. like I said, that thank you. We are dealing with medical problems, so limited to oh, okay. So that makes a big difference. Look, it's Ray. That makes a difference, but I agree she'd probably eat much better that way. Okay, so if she has a medical condition, then that's a whole nother thing. You might want to discard half of what I just said. But any other parent that was listening and needs that, yeah, go for it. Or Raven through it that even if you don't agree with baby led winning, there's a there's a something. I never catch you on time because I have to be on the way to work on the train when you're on. Well, you caught me. I'll try adding new flavors to the puree and see what happens. Okay, my 7-month-old was sleeping from 9 till 8 a.m. Now she's awaking 2, 3, 4 a.m. Is this normal? Okay, so your baby is sleeping for almost 11 hours at night. How much does she sleep during the day? Because you may be reaching her threshold of sleep. Sorry, I missed you saying. Oh no, the complete baby and toddler cookbook, the very best baby uh, toddler food recipe book, America's Test Kitchen Kids. Oh, cool! I like that. Fibro Nanny. I'm gonna have to write that down. You can flavor with so much, adding broths, fruits, greens like cilantro and basil. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for joining me. I really appreciate you. And I'll probably be back on Sunday afternoon. I did pop in this past Sunday afternoon, so I might be back on Sunday afternoon. It depends on, uh, I'm having, uh, hmm, we'll see. But I may be back with a special guest on Sunday afternoon, another one of my nanny friends on Sunday afternoon. If we go decide to go live, I don't know how I can tell y'all, but yeah, just be on the lookout. When your notifications say, "Oh, she's live and she invited you to watch her video," just yeah, just come on, because I probably will have somebody special here with me, and we'll probably go one of my nanny friends, and we'll go live together. When I get together with my nanny friends, I like to share their knowledge with you all because I don't claim to know it all, and they have a different perspective than I do. But I thank you all, each of you, for thank you, Fibro Nanny. I really appreciate it. I appreciate each one of you all for joining me. And oh, I'm sorry, I was reading a comment. She takes like 3 naps a day, with them being 1 hour and a half. Okay, so you might be giving her too many naps. At 7 months old, it might be time for her to go down to 2 naps. It's probably time for her to go to 2 naps at one for, you know, if she's taking an hour and a half, so you're taking 3 or 4. So she's taking 4.5 hour naps, and then she's sleeping for another 11 hours. That's a lot of sleep. That's like 16 hours of her day is consumed with sleeping. That's a lot of sleep in 24 hours. A lot of sleep. So you might want to take her down to 2 naps. I know it's going to affect your schedule, but you probably want to take her down for 2 naps if you want to sleep overnight, because you're probably hitting her threshold of sleep. So, anyway, I'll see you all probably on Sunday. I'm going to start trying, as my schedule changes, I'm going to start trying to come on um, at different times throughout the week because I know everybody is not available on Thursday night. And I'll probably come on at different times because, again, everybody is not available on Thursday night. And I know a lot of people say, I keep missing you. I keep missing you. I keep missing you. So I'm going to try to come on at different times So catch me when you can. But I will be here on Thursday nights. I can't promise you what time I'm coming on throughout the week because it just depends on my pockets of time. But I will be here to answer your questions and to give you advice. And if you found any of this helpful, please leave a tip. Uh, on Instagram, you can go into my bio, click on the link tree, and it's at the top. It says support or tips. You can leave a tip there. On TikTok, you can go on to my TikTok bio, and there's a little red tab that says tips. Click that on, and you can leave a tip there. Thank you all for joining me, and I will see you all for sure next Thursday, but probably I'll be here sometime this weekend. So, love y'all. And we here, Nanny's. Thanks, Excellent, and we appreciate you always. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you, We Care Nannies. And you all have a great, 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 great weekend. Do something for yourselves, mamas. Get out of the house, do something for yourselves. I don't care if you just go take a long hot bath. I have your favorite dessert and veg out in front of the TV. Do something for yourselves. Self-care is not selfish, and you need to replenish your cup in order to pour it back into your child. That goes for you too, nannies, and any other parents that are on here. Okay? I'll talk to you all next week. You all have a great weekend.